Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar Bradash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles of Great Millstone, alright, who through the Spirit tell us all this truth and who rule well, alright. This is Naaman of the DC camp. Wow. So, looks like the BLM is up to their old antics, alright. And in this case, when they got called out, they removed uh, the specific part of their charter off the website. All right. This is from the lawofficer.com, and it says after being unmasked, Black Lives Matter removes quote unquote what we believe from website. It says just because the BLM movement has put up a new facade doesn't mean their core beliefs have changed. All right. And that's important to note because again, this has nothing to do with what people think, all right? Because a lot of our people, again, as someone said, in fact, the person that funds this, George Soros, about us as a people being so easily manipulated, all right? And that's true, all right? It says, until recently, it was very easy to debunk the idea that Black Lives Matter is a politically mainstream organization focused exclusively, exclusively on the fight for racial justice. All right. Like I say, there's more to what's going on than people were led to believe. All right. Here we go. You have to look deeper, and that's what a lot of people don't do, especially our people. It says all you had to do was point in the direction of Black Lives Matter official website, which had a tab right at the top called What We Believe, leading to a section of the site that outlined, well, what they believe. And by their own admission, they believed and were fighting for many things that the vast majority of human beings on earth, whatever their race, would find bizarre or objectionable. But sometime in the past few days, the What We Believe page at blacklivesmatter.com was unceremoniously scrubbed with no explanation offered publicly. Alright? Someone trying to be slick. It says if you spend a little more time searching on the site now, there are still ominous signs that this is a radical organization. In fact, you don't have to search that hard at all. The Her Story section tells us about the 3 radical black organizers who founded Black Lives Matter. Actually, they're all professed Marxists, though that fact is not shared. And another thing they're not telling you is they're lesbians. At least 2 of the 3, maybe all 3. I don't know. I know it's for certain 2 of the 3. And another thing people forgot, there was also a gay man that was involved in that. It was initially 4. He said it also claims that so-called black people are being systematically and intentionally targeted for demise, which is patently untrue and completely absurd. So, you know what? What I didn't do was get the rundown on who wrote this article because that's why you have to be able to decipher and, all right, because evidently this is not one of our people because he says that's absurd, completely absurd. Okay, you're not living it. He says there is a 1-paragraph detour into LGBT issues, but most of the rest of the content in this section and on the rest of the site is relatively sanitary and inefficient, though there is no shortage of false narratives being peddled. All right, and it goes into these sections here. We are expansive. The About section. We affirm the lives. Scrolling on down here. Alright. We are working for a world where, okay, we affirm our humanity. We are guided by the fact that all Black Lives Matter, regardless of actual or perceived, here we go, sexual identity, gender. See, this is not. This happens when you go into something half cocked, and our people are experts at this. You need to find out the root, all right, where the money is really going, which our people didn't do, and some of them might be alarmed that it's actually being funneled into the Democratic Party. All right, this has nothing to do with, I should say, the true objective. It's gotten, see, what most people don't know, even the original civil rights movement, what did you have? You had a homosexual as one of the heads, meaning Bayard Ruskin. All right, and only ones who profited mainly from this was what? The so-called white woman, the Edomite woman, and the queer nation. Think about it. Our family has been, and as we get into this here, it was done on purpose. Our family unit has been disrupted like no others, and that was intentional. So this idiot, whoever wrote this, yes, we are being targeted. All right, continuing on. It says we disrupt the Western prescribed, and this is the point right here. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family. What's a nuclear family? The husband, the wife, the children. They want to disrupt that. So that lets you know right there they're not for life. They're all about confusion and death. It says we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children. If you're two men and two women cannot procreate, they cannot have children on their own. All right, these people are deluded. What's going to happen as a result? They're going to go extinct. See, they want to say, well, and that's another way of genocide. Taking our children, if you're paying attention, and putting them with gay couples. What do you think the intent behind that is? See, our people are being destroyed on every side. So again, whoever the idiot that wrote this, again, he doesn't live it. All right. It says, and the next one even goes into it. It says, we foster a queer affirming network. It says, when we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. See? So why are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans caught up in this shit? Now, here's another aspect of that. Marcus Wiley, he goes in on it. In fact, I saw this first. And it says, the former NFL player slammed Black Lives Matter. In fact, let me get a scripture here real quick because I hinted at it and said it. So let me get the scripture. This is 1 Corinthians. See, what these people are about is disorder. The Most High, or I should say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is about order. This is 1 Corinthians 11. All right. Verse 3, it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach Yahushua is the Most High Yahweh. That's order. 1, 2, 3. Bam, bam, bam. That's order. What they're advocating here in this BLM, this Black Lives Movement, is disorder. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 14. This is 1 Corinthians 14. Scroll on down here. And 33, it says, for the Most High Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. The saints are the Israelites and the Israelites only. And that's why 34 is so important, because what does it say? It's got at least three queer Marxists, all right, or at least two, I should say. But then again, you got to ask yourself, if the third one is not, what is she doing with the other two? Verse 34 says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience as also saith the law. Confusion. That's why this devil George Soros set them up, because it spreads nothing but confusion, and our people are the ones that are targeted. For the idiot that wrote this article, talking about it's absurd that we're being targeted, that we believe we're being targeted. It's not absurd because we are. We have always been since we were brought over here. All right. It says most notable goal that Black Lives Matter no longer wants to advertise, that's the key word, advertise, is the disruption of, quote unquote, the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. To call such a belief far left would be a vast understatement. All right? Would be a vast understatement. With its direct opposition to the nuclear family, Black Lives Matter had positioned itself on the fringes of the fringes of the fringe. And considering that it is precisely the disruption, what I say about confusion, the disruption of the nuclear family in the black community that has contributed so heavily to the socio-economic problems that plague it. Let's go back to what Marcus Wiley said. I didn't finish. He's a defensive lineman. The former NFL player slammed Black Lives Matter in June for a now deleted mission statement, which included a rebuke of the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Black Lives Matter has yet to respond to a request for comment. Of course they have. It said, two things my family structure is so vitally important to me. This is Marcus Wiley. He says, not only the one I grew up in, but the one I am trying to create right now. Being a father and a husband, that's my mission in life right now. How do I reconcile that with this mission statement that says we dismantle the patriarchal practice? We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement. Children, and here's oh man, he lays it out. Children from single parent homes versus two parent homes. The children from the single parent homes, this was in 1995, I was reading this, 5 times more likely to commit suicide, and this is from single family homes now, 6 times more likely to be in poverty, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home, he said. In 2020, white supremacy is the mission. That's a lot of digging through minutia right there. He says, I'm on a show that I'm hosting along with another black guy who is hosting with me, who replaced another black guy, and that's just one example of it. All right? So I understand. I respect your space. I respect what you're protesting for, but will you respect others who don't support that same protest? And the answer is, of course they don't. All right? Because they will set up what? This is about spreading confusion and disrupting our people's family structure. That's what they want. All these things he outlined with as a result of single parent homes. Where do these people most likely end up? Prison industrial complex. All right. So you go back in the chains and you end up working for free or very little money at all. And that's how this is designed. Now, if it's not designed, all right, to destroy us, then who is it designed to destroy? Again, to the idiot that wrote this other article. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let's see, did I have anything else? Oh, of course. Real quick. Romans 1st chapter. All right. And that's what these demons are all about. Turning everything upside down. Again, causing confusion. That's their intent. Again, they know who we are. The issue is we don't know. The majority of us don't know and don't want to know who we really are. Anything this devil puts before them, they consume and destroy themselves. This is Romans 1 and 21. Because that when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Oh, I got this degree and that degree and so forth and so on, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and to four-footed beasts, and creeping things, going into idolatry. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, homosexuality, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, homosexuality, lesbianism, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. For those who deny that this is in the New Testament. All right, so with that, I have to cut it short. Call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, by Hashem Kakodash, and of course double honors to the apostles, great millstone, who through the Spirit told us all is true. Salutations to Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing us true, honest and sincerity. So with that, shalom.